Hey, what's going on, guys? It's the DG Dave coming at you with a new video today. And I was thinking about trying something a bit different today for this video. And I was actually just earlier today, I was thinking about this one thing that happened in my life. So I was like, you know what? Let me tell a nice story for YouTube. So I thought maybe some of you guys might find it pretty interesting. So we're gonna get right into it. So I don't really know the best way to start this, but over the summer from May to late July, I had actually gone to Europe with my girlfriend, and I've never actually been out of North America before, so this is my first time on European soil we're talking about here, and it was a really interesting trip, to say the least, for many reasons, but many things that happened that's not really important, but there was one standout night that really shocked us all, and even myself, so I've been wanting to talk about this and make light of this ever since it occurred because it's a real thing that happens every day everywhere. And regardless of how safe a place you think that you may live in, it still happens. And it really needs to stop. But, you know, people are going to be people. And it's hard to just stop people from being the way that they are. But anyway, I just want to make a quick disclaimer as well. I don't condone any acts of violence towards anyone. I'm simply just wanting to go over the story, how it happened this night, and you know, things get messy, things happen. But anyway, there were many ways that I could have dealt with this situation differently, but at this time, I had felt that there was no other option but to act, and in my heart, I believe I did the right thing. So with that being said, let's hop right in. So it was late July at this point, and I had been itching to get home to America with my girlfriend. I was worrying about a lot of things, like if I would still have my job when I got back home. I was thinking a lot about my mother and how she was doing across the world, because I'd never been away for as long as I was. I was away for 2 months in Europe. Like, think about that. Like, don't have my computer. I had my laptop, but don't have a computer. Don't have, you know, not being able to speak the same language as everybody, and just, you know, it was a big culture shock for sure. And I was thinking about money a lot too, because I've been going out a lot, blowing a lot of money on alcohol and partying. There was a lot of good times, but you know, there was also just a lot on my mind. I know that what I listed off might not sound that bad, but just try being away from home for 2 months. It fucking sucks. But anyway, I spent a lot of time at this point on my laptop because there really wasn't much for me to do around the town there. It was a pretty small, picturesque town up in the mountains, and unlike Resident Evil 4, believe me, there is tons of colors because that game is gray as hell. You got like wild poppies, wild fennel. You could even eat the fennel, and it kind of tasted like licorice, which was really cool and interesting. I never experienced that before, but it's also like grapevines creeping up fences. It was a beautiful place, but that's to say it wasn't all bad, but you know, being stuck in one place can make anybody get a bit angsty. And that was me and my girlfriend as well. So anyway, this particular night that I've been hinting at, I was playing Dead Rising 2 on my laptop. And my girlfriend just walked up to me and she asked me if I'd like to go for a walk. And it was already past like 11 p.m. It was pretty late. But mind you, in Europe, people stay out really late by comparison to Americans. So our sleep schedules were already like thoroughly fucked up anyway. So I didn't really mind. So I was like, yeah, sure, let's go for a walk. It sounds nice. Also, considering that we'd been stuck in the house for about 3 days at this point, it was a good change of pace. So I ran upstairs real quick, threw on some street clothes real quick, and also I grabbed this deck of couples cards that it's like this little card question game I picked up at Target for like $20. I thought it'd be a good idea for us to find a nice chill spot and play it together. So it was for us to like reconnect a bit, and me and her had been having some arguments that week, so things have been a bit iffy at best, so I thought it was a cute gesture. She would appreciate it. So we leave the house and we begin walking out to the street. We see some young kids out screwing around doing their thing, and still a bunch of cars passing by on the nearby street. My girlfriend asked me if where I'd like to go, so I was like, I don't know. I had a place in mind, but I didn't want to tell her just yet. It was a little secret. So there was this one place. It was just to the left of the place that we were staying at. It was up this stairwell leading up between some houses with varying heights, kind of reminiscent of the stairs of the Joker movie. Only much smaller, but it kind of reminded me of it. So As we approached the staircase, I noticed that the gate to the stairwell is chained and locked, so I let out a sigh, and I was a little annoyed, but that was also like the only convenient path to the place I wanted to take her to. So I decided, let's just find another place to chill at. Why not? Who cares? So we carry on walking for another 5 minutes down the main road, and I mentioned to my girlfriend, I'm like, isn't there a park around here we could sit down at? And she tells me, yeah, but, there's always kids and teenagers there late at night. And I was like, okay. So I let out another sigh. So we keep walking for a couple more minutes, and we notice this one nice wooden bench by the street. It was low-key. We both sat down and began talking for a few, and then I busted out the card game. I was like, yo, and she was excited. So was I. So we started playing. And we've been taking turns pulling cards, asking each other a couple questions to see where we stood with each other. And, it was nice. It was relaxing. And as we're both playing, we noticed something pretty peculiar across the road. And we both stopped talking like simultaneously, and we were both confused at what we were even looking at. And there was a man and a woman across the street, both arguing in their native language, which I didn't understand, but I had been there for about 2 months, so I'd been there long enough to tell you that they weren't really exchanging very nice words, so. And after watching them for about 30 seconds, I could tell that by the man's body language that he was heavily intoxicated. He was slaughtered. But I don't know, I just couldn't really help shake the feeling that something bad was going to happen. I don't know, it's weird. But they continued arguing for a few more minutes before the girl stood up from the bench and began to walk towards this waist-high barrier. She climbed over it slowly, and the man just kind of watched her aimlessly. It was kind of hard to explain, but after she climbed over the barrier, there was this big concrete structure that had obstructed my view of her, but I knew she was still standing behind it. The man was confused and just began shouting obscenities while walking around the structure, and she was still behind it, so I got a bit nervous, and my heart started beating a bit, and my girlfriend was getting anxious now, and she kind of wanted to leave, but I told her, just hold on for a minute, something's going on here. So the man was now kind of just out of view. He continued walking around the structure, and just as he disappeared around the corner, I saw the woman reappear from around the way that she came back, and she came back over the waist-high wall, so basically back to where she was. So she stood now with her phone in her hand, the screen lighting up her face, white as she leaned back with her back against the wall of the structure. It kind of looked like she was trying to call the cops, and all the while she was there, the man became visible again, now further down the street. He was searching for her. He was looking everywhere. And it was clear he was trying to find her. And she was trying to hide, knowing she couldn't outrun him, a grown man. We watched as she looked helpless. It was fucked up, man. My girlfriend was visibly pretty frightened and shocked that something like this would happen in her own town, the town that she had known to be the safest place apart from her own bedroom. The woman remained with her back against the wall, dialing on the phone. She shimmied to the corner of the structure to peek around the corner, and she caught a glimpse of that guy. So we saw him down the road, and he was heading back towards her now. It kind of felt like forever, waiting and watching him walk up to her. And as he did, she didn't even seem surprised. I don't know what kind of dynamic these two had, but maybe they were partners, maybe they had met at a bar. Either way, the whole thing just kind of seemed eerie. It felt a little bit off. And it seemed as though she was trying her best to kind of just calm him down and to not escalate things further, because he had said something to scare her, to make her try and hide away from him like that. So it also looked as though things were starting to calm down for a moment. They walked further across the street by some parked cars, still easily seen by me and my girlfriend. Then from down the street to the left, a few little boys on their scooters had arrived over by the structure where the woman was previously hiding behind. They were young, about 12, 11, kind of around that range. And I recentered my attention on the man and the woman. They were talking by the cars for all but a minute before he began shouting and cursing her again. The boys were alarmed and seemed worried too by now. They were much closer to the man and the woman than me and my girlfriend were. Now with my heart racing, I stood up abruptly and my girlfriend grabbed my arm. She said, "What are you thinking? Don't get involved." I didn't say anything back to her. I watched intently as the man punched the trunk of the car as hard as he could while screaming in her face. My blood was low-key boiling by now. I was really pissed off watching this happen. I've never encountered or seen like anything like this. And I've lived in a lot of, we're not going to get into that, but like I've seen some things, man, and I've never seen like an actual domestic dispute, you know? So anyway, I knew something was going to happen at any second. He kept pounding on the fucking trunk like that and shouting in her face. He kept getting closer. I knew it. And my girlfriend wanted to leave right then and there, but I ignored her. The little boys were scared, and I could see that they wanted to step in and do something, but they knew that they'd get thrashed, bro. If they tried, bro, it would have been over, man. That guy was really drunk, and I knew he was really loose. He would not care whatsoever, but they kept their distance, and they watched in fear either way, which was good. They shouldn't have even bothered trying to do something. Those kids were little, bro. And I also just want to point out one thing, too. I'm not a big guy by any means. I weigh like 150 pounds. I'm about 5'7" on a good day. This guy was about 6 feet tall, about 60 pounds heavier than me. But not for a second did I even consider any of that. I didn't even think about that. I visualized, like I saw it, but I wasn't like, oh shit. But my eyes were beaming across the street at this man. And with my girlfriend still holding my arm tight as she could, I saw that guy smack her right across the face. The woman fell to the ground, banged her head against the back of the car bumper. Or no, she banged the back of her head on the car bumper. And that was parked right behind her. So she was on the ground now, kind of just dazed, bro. And he just started choking her and like hitting her in the face more. So that happened in like a moment. Like that happened really fast that he did that. So I didn't even hesitate for a second either. As soon as that happened, as soon as I saw him even hit her, I ripped my arm away from my girlfriend. I bolted straight across the street. It was a clear panel, not a single car in sight. And she said she was screaming at me for me to come back, but I didn't hear anything. My heart was beating way too violently. I saw red when I saw that happen, and this has never happened. I don't think I've ever been more angry in my entire life at anything. And I came from nowhere. That's in that stupid guy's eyes, bro. He was standing there in between the two parked cars. I hardly even noticed the obstacle in front of me, but still somehow slid over the car like Michael from GTA 5, hitting him with the full inertia of my fist to his ear. But anyway, he was stunned, and his hands went limp on that girl's throat, and he stumbled towards the sidewalk. I gave this man no time whatsoever to even react. I hit him with the flurry of punches, just like JoJo. Directly in his head, mouth, ears, neck, temple, fucking everywhere, bro. I began kneeing this dude in the fucking face, too. He was trying to cover himself up like a pussy, not doing anything, putting up no fight whatsoever. He deserved it, bro. He finally fell to the ground, and he was like leaned up against the wall and completely dazed. He couldn't even begin to comprehend what just happened to him. He was knocked, bro. So another random woman just kind of like appeared around the corner. I don't know when she showed up, but started like yelling. She's like, "Oh, no." A different woman apart from the girl that just got attacked. She's like, "Oh, stop." And I kind of snapped out of it at this point because I was going ape shit on this guy. I did not let up. So I snapped out of it and I was like, oh crap, the other girl. And I kind of jogged over to her and I kind of pulled her up a little bit because she was slumped over, still trying to get up. And I walked her away and I was like, don't worry. It's okay. We're going to call the cops. And the other woman was already doing so that was fine. And those same kids from before, the kids that pulled up on the scooters, they all came up to me and kind of just like a groupie circle. They were like, yeah, like, you know, all in their language. And they were like giving me handshakes and like dap me up. It was weird, bro. It was so strange. But I really was not paying much attention to that. I just know that it did happen. I was still locked in on that guy watching him and he was getting back up. So he started shouting at me again. Started walking over to me. I was like, oh, big man, scary man. So he started walking up to me and my girlfriend, and she got in between both of us yelling, no, you're not. He was saying he was going to kill me too. So I wasn't really much intimidated, knowing that I just smacked the ever-living shit out of this guy 2 minutes prior. But I had to kind of push my girlfriend aside so this fucking walking beer can couldn't hurt her too. So after I got her out of the way, I put my fists up. I was ready to go again. we locked eyes, and I had a plan he wouldn't be expecting. So I was hopping around, trying to get my blood flowing again, making it hard for his drunk eyes to track me. And while he was staring me down, I sent a right-legged hard kick right to the stomach, and I could tell he was just like, kind of knocked the wind out of him. And once again, he stumbles, buckles, and slams against a car, and just kind of like slid down a bit. And before I even knew it, my girlfriend snatched my arm and started sprinting, like grabbed my arm, started pulling me away, because she had enough of me trying to play the hero, risk my life, and pull me away. So I started following her, and she was a wreck, bro. She was panicking, hyperventilating, saying, oh my god, the whole sprint back home. So we got home fast without incident. Took about maybe 3 minutes. Not far, but man, that was wild. So I still had about a week left vacation in that country. A whole week I had to endure worrying about being prosecuted, jailed in a foreign country. 1 week before leaving too, bro. I couldn't have messed up any more if I tried. But after being stuck there for as long as I was doing some research, digging, and my girlfriend was worried, and mainly her mother, until they started to make me think crazy too. Luckily, no one came for me though. Nothing happened afterwards. It's a fucking mess. But it was the right move, laying low. It'd be easy to pick out the only American in the country. Well, not in the country, but in the town for sure. And a few other things happened as well, but nothing as major as that's for sure. Mainly just drama. But nonetheless, that is the story. And once again, looking back on it, there were a number of things I could have done differently before hitting that dude. But many would beg to differ, saying it was the right thing to do. And I'm sure many of you share the sentiment. I will admit I kind of do also. Because if I didn't, I probably wouldn't have done it. But still, I think there's a few things I could have done instead. But we live, we learn, And another thing to note too that's a little scary thinking about, but due to the fact that I was in a foreign country, being an American, if I would have been caught doing what I was doing, I would have been thrown in jail and most certainly charged with assault. And who knows how long I would be there. I might even still be there by now. But I know that seems unfair, even if you're doing the right thing, but the same may even happen in the States. But the key difference being that I was a foreigner. If I were to do the same thing in America, it may be justifiable, but that doesn't mean you should go around attacking people. I definitely don't condone anybody doing this, without a doubt. But one thing's for sure: before you do act, make sure you stay informed. We all gotta learn some way. So learn your lessons, grow from your hardships. Sometimes you need to fuck up to get the full picture. And one last key note, my father raised me right. I stick up for my family, my girlfriend, people in my life, and people in need. And on top of that, it is never, ever acceptable to hit a woman, and under any circumstance. I rest my case.